Eyes up and open, guys. So let's talk about Laken Riley and the Laken Riley Act, who voted for it, why they voted for it, what it means, and what it does. On February 22nd, 2024, Laken Riley, a 22-year-old Augusta University nursing student, was unalived while she was jogging at the University of Georgia. The person who took this young lady's life was an undocumented immigrant from Venezuela. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole on November 20th, 2024. Subsequently, Congress, both the Senate and the House, passed the Laken Riley Act with all Republicans and a few Democrats voting for it, and President Donald Trump signed it into law. As always, nothing is ever just as simple, right, as what it seems, right? It just seems like, okay, this bad thing happened. These people who are put in power to stop this kind of stuff wanted to seem like they were doing something about it, right? Plus, they wanted to grandstand, look what the horrible Democrats allowed to happen under their watch, even though this stuff happens like not often, right? But it does happen under all the different administrations. It also happened under Trump's first term. So, let's not get stuff messed up, right? And pretend it's only, one side or the other. But it's very strange what's actually in the bill and what Republicans, because Republicans wrote this bill. Some like a small number of Democrats voted for it, but Republicans wrote this bill, and there's a very peculiar part of the bill, and I guarantee you that Donald Trump, who doesn't read, does not know that this is in the bill. And I'm just going to play you a clip from Fox News. It's a Democratic congressperson on there talking about why he voted no on the Laken Riley Act.
Massachusetts Congressman Jake Auchincloss joins me now. Congressman, it's great to have you on the program. You voted no on the Laken Riley Act, but you're also calling for a rule of law at the border. So those two things seem a little contradictory. I want to give you an opportunity to explain.
Thanks for having me on and for giving me the opportunity. They're not contradictory because the core value of America is freedom. And freedom means that when the power of the state is brought against you, saying that you did something, you are innocent until proven guilty, and you have the freedom to prove that innocence. And what the Laken Riley Act does is it deprives that freedom from people by violating due process. An arrest is not a conviction. The crimes that are laid out in that bill are already crimes that are deportable, as they should be. And so as a Democrat who believes in freedom and the rule of law, I voted against the Laken Riley Act. However, my question really for my colleagues at the other side of the aisle is, why did they vote for it? Because the other element of Laken Riley, as you know, Jackie, is it gives standing to state attorneys general to sue the Trump administration over differences in immigration policy without having to prove that they're an injured party. That means that every attorney general throughout this country now can sue the Trump administration over every perceived difference in immigration policy, get a sympathetic federal judge to issue an injunction, and gum up the works. So this is actually a bill that I think is going to boomerang on the Trump administration. I think Republicans are going to regret voting for it.
So I am a little bit confused, right? I mean, you have the Republican Party who is always concerned about people suffering false accusations, when it comes to men being falsely accused by women of violating their, personal space, let's just say it that way, or of, touching them or, assaulting them. It's, they're just able to falsely accuse men without any proof or anything. So you actually wrote a law where somebody can just be accused, right? Accused. Anybody can walk up and say, I accuse that person of whatever they decide to accuse them of. No evidence, no due process. That person gets picked up and they get deported. That's it. There's no recourse. There is no mechanism for them to try to prove that they are innocent of what they've been accused of. They're just gone. That's number one. Number two, Republicans wrote into the law, Republicans who claim that they want to fix the broken immigration system. They wrote into the law the ability for state attorneys general to be able to challenge any immigration law in court if they have a difference of opinion over how that immigration law should go. So they actually gave Democrats a way to constantly challenge the Trump administration and to stop his immigration policies. Don't you find that interesting? Because I find that interesting. It's almost like they don't actually want to fix a problem because, as Kamala Harris said often during the campaign, Donald Trump and Republicans don't want to fix a problem. They want to run on a problem. They already lost the AB angle where they would get people out to vote on AB because they've largely taken that away from women in the country. And they are currently working on a federal ban, right? So they will not have that topic or that issue to get voters to the polls. So if they take away the immigration angle, the immigration problem, the immigration crisis, the border crisis, they will not be able to run on it anymore. And then all they will be left with is economic issues. And Republicans cannot win on economic issues. They just can't do it because they are on the side of keeping the rich richer, tax cuts for the rich, the middle class and the working class paying all the taxes, and the rich running away with all of our money. So they can't win on that. Okay, the other thing about this bill is it gives $83 billion with a B primarily to the private prison system, because part of this bill is that they're going to house these immigrants who get accused, right? And it's going to be a lot because people are just, prejudiced against immigrants, right? So now they're going to be able to pick anyone out and accuse them of a crime. And so they're going to get flooded into these private prisons, into these holding places before they get deported. So they need to give funding to the private prison system, $83 billion, so that they can expand their facilities to hold all these undocumented immigrants that are going to be coming in, right?
No further than the price tag of this bill, $83 billion. They know that it can't be paid for. They know that the capacity is not there. And you know what will be there? Private prison companies are going to get flooded with money, who give this money, no doubt. I want folks at home to look. Look at what members of Congress are invested in private prison companies who receive this kind of money, and look at the votes on this bill. It is atrocious that people are lining their pockets with private prison profits in the name of a horrific tragedy and the victim of a crime. It is shameful. It is absolutely shameful.
You know what, AOC? That's a really good idea. Let's do that. Well, looky what we got here. Seems since the 2015 and 2016 elections, when old Mr. Trump entered the scene, contributions for these for-profit prisons skyrocketed for these Republican House members. It doesn't seem like the Democrats are getting much love here, but let's look at the Senate. Looks like the same kind of thing going on here. Skyrocketing contributions for those Senate Republicans and not much love for the Democrats. I wonder why. Here we have a dollar amount per party, with Republicans again getting the lion's share of this money. And in this one, we have a chart showing just how much money these for-profit prisons have been giving to these politicians in the past several years. That's an awful lot of money. Okay, let's end with this little gem. So this is a table of the top 20 recipients for the 2023-2024 election cycle of for-profit prison donations. Donald Trump's at the top. That's no surprise. Most of these on here are Republicans. There are 2 Democrats on here. So we have this guy. He receives like a big chunk, like all total since 20, I think it was like 2016. He's gotten like $200,000, like $210,000 from the for-profit prison industry. Rick Scott also is at the top, right, with like 153,000. Marco Rubio is like, he's not on this list for the 2023-2024 cycle, but he shows up a lot and he gets, a pretty big portion of the total for-profit prison donations every year. But Kamala Harris is on here too. I'm guessing, with the small amount they gave her, they were hedging their bets, thinking that, they could say, hey, we donated, nudge, nudge, if they could get the bill passed, that hoping that she would sign it. They do this often. You see that they will donate to both candidates, especially in the presidential election. So I'm not surprised to see her name on there. But, it's worth mentioning, right? Fair's fair. So there you have it, kids. AOC was right as usual. There's more than meets the eye. With this bill, they are lining the pockets of themselves and their donors. And they also carved out some space for Democrats to be able to stop Donald Trump's immigration policies so that it can never get fixed and they can keep running on it. So if you made it this far, I do thank you for your support. Thank you to everyone who follows me on TikTok and who supports my channel and subscribes on YouTube. On YouTube, I am at my civic engagement, and on TikTok, at Think for Yourself. So THINC number 4 URSELF. If you haven't subscribed or followed me, please do. If you like the content and you want to support it, please share, comment, like, do all the things, because it does help with the algorithm and helps boost my content and helps me grow my platform. And I really appreciate everything that all of you already do. I'm building this platform for us. And my eventual goal is to create a nonprofit that will get the word out and promote policies that fight income inequality in this country. So I'm so happy and I'm so proud to be in this fight with so many of you that I talk to on TikTok. I absolutely love you guys. You are so smart. You are so informed, especially you younger guys that are out there, and gals who, are fully engaged. You see the problem, you see what's coming, and you want to do something about it. And I am just honored to be in this fight with you.